don't be afraid to fail, because failure will lead to success. And failure is part of the process of your experience.
Dr. Basma, I must tell you, this is so amazing. Two innovations, one by chance and the other what you wanted it.
I do believe that nanotechnology will make a big difference, not only in the renewable energy field, but in all the fields.
So simplistic explanation that even a 5-year-old would understand this.
I believe that we need a lot of these short talks that reflect or send a message and open the eyes of the audience.
Women who are facing the challenges, following their dreams, what is that one piece of advice that you will give them? Hi everyone, I'm Mohsinaa Ahmad. Welcome to Boss Talks, where transformative conversations meet actionable insights. In each episode, we have conversations on the intersection of modern leadership, exploring how spirituality shapes decision-making, how sustainability drives innovation, how technology transforms business, and how emotional intelligence powers lasting success. Today, it's my distinct pleasure to welcome our distinguished guest on Boss Talks, Dr. Basma EL ZEIN. With over 24 years at the forefront of nanotechnology and renewable energy, Dr. Basma stands as a beacon of innovation and sustainable leadership in the global scientific community, as well as an inspiration to many women, not just in Saudi Arabia, but all over the world. As Director General of UBT Techno Valley, she masterfully orchestrates an ecosystem where research, entrepreneurship, and industry collaboration flourish. Her groundbreaking work in photovoltaics and nanoelectronics has earned her prestigious recognition, including the Reuters Global Energy Transition Award and the Makkah Excellence Award for Sustainability. Beyond her patent and numerous published research papers, Dr. Basma has devoted her career to a profound mission, empowering individuals to address our world's most pressing energy and environmental challenges. Based in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and connected to the University of Lille in France, her influence transcends boundaries. A passionate mentor and volunteer, she doesn't just advance scientific knowledge, she shapes tomorrow's innovators. Please join me in welcoming a true visionary whose work is literally changing how we harness and store energy for a sustainable future. Hi, Dr. Basma. Welcome to Boss Talks. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for asking. And thank you for the kind introduction.
So I want to ask you here, you have spent over a decade in nanotechnology and renewable energy, but these topics are usually not dinner table conversations. So say you are sitting at a dinner table and you have to explain what work do you do? How do you explain this in the simplest of terms?
What is nanotechnology and what exactly I'm doing? I always tell them that imagine that you can go and dive into in-depth level, to go at the atomic level, and to be able to work with each atom separately, and then put these atoms close to each other in the shape that you want, in the format that you want, what exactly you're going to have. So imagine the outcome that you will be getting out of these atoms. So imagine, I always also give the comparison between the clay and also the Lego. So if you take the clay and you want to develop a shape, you need just to cut different parts of the clay in order to get the shape that you want. And plus, you're not going to have that accuracy, and lots of the material will be wasted because you will be throwing the extra part that you have taken out of the clay. While if you take the Lego, and as small as the pieces are, and you put them in the shape that you want, you put them in the way that you want, you will be able to form any shape you want in different properties, in different, we call it morphology, properties that can vary from mechanical to electrical to optical. And this is actually what we can do at the nanoscale. We move at the atomic level and we play with these atoms in the way we want. And the application of nanotechnology, this is also my work in the field of solar energy. And I always also tell them, imagine that your windows right now can generate your electricity, and the electricity can be generated day and night without bothering yourself. So your window will be still a window and also a solar cell at the same time. How much energy you will be able to save, how much energy you will be able to also to use. So this is what exactly I'm doing. I'm combining working at an atomic level and also the application in the photovoltaic field. In addition to this, I'm working on flexible solar cells. So imagine you can have your t-shirt to be your solar cell, or you can have just a sticker that you can stick it at any surface, any flexible surface, and you can still generate electricity. So this is what we're working on. And I always refer also to a very famous sentence mentioned by the first actually scientist who talked about nanotechnology, saying that there are plenty of rooms at the bottom and just we need to go and explore.
Wow, such beautiful words and so simplistic explanation that even I would say a 5-year-old would understand this. So beautifully explained. Tell me one thing. Did you have an inspiration that you thought that, I'll be like this? Or if he can do it, I can do it too? And did you face any challenges while going through you becoming a scientist?
Actually, since my childhood, my parents actually raised us to be really different, to try to leave a fingerprint. Whatever we do has to be unique and different and have an impact. This was always their recommendation. This is always how they raised us to be. And I remember very well when I want to join the university level, I had a very long discussion with my father about what I want to do. And actually, my father is a professor of math, and I wanted to be like him. And I remember very well that he told me that, look, math is really good, but at the end, if you go and study math, there is no application. You'll be at the end just a teacher. And is this what you want, or you want to have an impact? So he advised me and he explained to me why engineering is actually the application of math with an impact in different areas. And this is why I joined actually the engineering school, and then I joined electrical engineering. And to be honest with you, through this journey, I had lots of challenges. The resistance of the family, why she's doing engineering. She's a girl, she cannot do engineering. She has to go and do some business courses or go to the business discipline or any other easy discipline. While all the time, my father was supporting me and encouraging me to continue. At that time, many of the professors also that I've met really made a difference in my life. So in addition to my father, I met lots of professors that actually inspired me. So the classes were not only about knowledge, but also were actually about giving advices, how we need to look to life, how we need to really also leave an impact. And I'm always grateful to those faculty. Then after that, I remember very well, I was in a conference in Cambridge. I was participating as a speaker and also as a moderator. My speech was about communication over power lines. So how can we use the power lines to transmit data instead of having different infrastructure for the data communication? And there was a lecture about nanotechnology. I remember this was in 2005, actually. That presentation actually took me to another world. This is where I decided I want to explore this word of nanotechnology. What is it about? And again, lots of challenges I faced while I was working in the nanotechnology field, because this was a new field that nobody explored previously. And it was not easy also to access the labs because the labs were not fully equipped with the needed equipments. But I really tried my best to continue and to work on discoveries. And finally, I can say that my research led to be an invention. And right now it's patented in USA, Europe, and UK. And we're working also currently in other parts of the world. Another challenge is actually, balancing between family and also work, because I'm a scientist. I have to be all the time in the lab. lab, and sometimes I need to travel outside the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia or to stay for longer time in the lab. And I had two kids at that time, so it was not easy, but I trained my kids really to be independent, to take the responsibility. And we were working as a team, you know. I was doing my research while they were studying. So we're studying together. We always tell each other that it's a group study and we have to work together, but each one of us is working on his own. And this is how I was able to overcome these challenges that I was facing in this field.
You know, this is so inspiring, and not just to women, I would say. It's also to men, that what you're doing and how your resilience and your grit and the support system that you had, shaped you to who you are today and will take you a long way forward. So this is amazing and inspiring. Basma, tell me one thing. You are very lucky. Okay, I would say this because you had parents and you had faculties who would guide you and who would mentor you and also support you in your dreams. Okay, so tell me one thing, one piece of advice that you would give to probably people who are facing the same kind of challenges. And I would, make a point here of women who are facing the challenges following their dreams. What is that one piece of advice that you will give them from your learning experience?
Don't be afraid to fail, because failure will lead to success. And failure is part of the process of your experience. Another also piece of advice, go and look for a role model for you. And this role model will make a big impact in your life. Look for them in your family member or at the university. One day I met a prominent professor in the field of solar cells. And I remember on that day I said, one day I want to be like him. So try your best, explore your strength and focus on this strength and work on it, crystallize these strengths, because this is also what will make you unique. Don't ever mimic or copy paste what the others are doing. Do it your own style and keep your fingerprint in everything you do. The advice that I always give it to my students, especially when I started my career, I was teaching, girls that always shine and show your capabilities. Don't be shy. You need to shine because you have extraordinary skills that needs to be visible. So you need to make it visible. And again, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to hide your opinion, because you will learn what is right and what is wrong. I'm also supervising some talented students to participate in international competitions. And I always support them, even if sometimes the idea maybe is not that great idea. I always tell them there is no bad ideas. There are ideas that can be improved. So you need to find the right person who help you to crystallize this idea and to make it visible to the others, to your peers or to whoever is interested in that point.
Your research has been patented. Can you tell me more about that research, about what you're doing, and what is it going to lead to in the future?
Let me also tell you the story of this patent.
Yes.
I was working on growing nanowires of zinc oxide. Zinc oxide is known as an antibacterial material. Usually we take it with the minerals. If you remember during the COVID, they were used to tell us with vitamin C, take zinc because it will improve and increase your immunity system and foster the immunity system. So zinc is actually a metal that we usually eat, we usually have in our body. And zinc oxide is just the oxide material of the zinc, which also have an antibacterial property. And I had to explore how to grow zinc oxide nanowires with the equipment that I have. And I remember very well working on that machine that every day has a problem, either with the laser or with the material, or it was already booked by somebody else. And I remember very well that on a daily basis, when I need to use this machine, I was afraid, I was worried what I'm gonna get. And I remember that I had a meeting with a professor, the center director, and I had to show him the results. I brought with me the microscope images and I was showing them to him, telling him that I'm really sorry I didn't achieve the requirements. So I didn't meet actually the requirements. I was not able to grow nanowires. I got something totally different. I don't know what is it. And he said, wait. He was looking at the images and then he told me, "What is this?" I told him, "No, no, no, don't bother yourself. I'm gonna throw these samples away. These are nothing." He said, "No, wait. Please repeat this experiment." I was a bit confused why he's asking me to do something that is not actually, required. So I followed the instructions and I went again to the lab and repeat the experiment and I got the same results. He told me, "Basma, what you got was a zinc oxide nanowall honeycomb structure, which is a new structure with unique properties based on the characterizations that I've done, and go and patent it." So I was so happy to hear that, from samples that I had to throw in the garbage to a patent that is right now patented for different applications. The most important one is actually I'm using these nanowalls. And then, by the way, I was able to grow nanowires on top of these nanowalls and patent them in USA for solar energy. So we were using these nanowires and these nanowalls as what we call them electron transport layer to transport the electrons and generate electricity from our solar cells.
Wow. Wow, Dr. Basma, I must tell you, this is so amazing, okay? Because I can see and I can feel that energy of that happiness and the joy that you have had in these two innovations, I would say, one by chance and the other, the what you wanted it. So amazing. You're a woman who has broken barriers in science and engineering, okay? And basically, you are in Saudi Arabia. What is one challenge that you have faced in your journey, and how did you push yourself through it?
Now, because being also in a male-dominated field, which is electrical engineering, and plus in emerging also technology, which is nanotechnology, I faced as a woman actually lots of challenges. One of them, the acceptance that being a woman is actually in the field of science and technology was not easy. So that, people look always at women that you should not be in the lab, you should be maybe at home. And I tried always my best because this is how I was raised. And again, with the support of my father and my family, also my mother for sure, that I had to always, again, show my capabilities, reflect Basma's, work, who I am in whatever I do. So it was not easy, to be honest with you. It was a difficult journey that I had to go through until I reached where am I today, because it's not easy to convince people about your capabilities just because you are a woman. And sometimes even your ideas, when you share an idea with someone, she doesn't know.
Not taken seriously.
Exactly. But what I used to do is that if I have an idea, I always used to bring my references, the evidences to what I'm saying. Look, this is how it has to be done, and this is what we are proposing. So let's do it, let's try. And then after different trials and showing them that, that this is doable, they start to, to believe that yes, we can. And nowadays, there is lots of support, to be honest with you, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And women are highly supported. They look at us based on really our capabilities and our competencies, what we can do, and they are giving us also the chance. President of our university is one of the supporter of women. So if he sees in you that you can excel somewhere, he give you the opportunity, and just you need to take that opportunity and prove yourself, so you will have more opportunities to explore and again to make a big difference in solving either these challenges or these opportunities.
Amazing. This is a very, very welcoming change, I would say. And it is becoming the inspiration to the whole world per se, because every part of the world, there is that nuance discrimination, which is there, of women being in positions of power or intellect. And this is changing, and the world is changing. And Saudi Arabia is, I think, making a very big example of this. So amazing. Dr. Basma, please tell me, what's one innovation or breakthrough in renewable energy or nanotech that gets you genuinely excited for the future?
I'm really interested to use what is surrounding us to generate electricity. One of the things that I recently explored is actually how we can convert the noise. And by the way, maybe this discussion can generate even electricity because this is vibration, and these vibration can be transferred or can be amplified and generate electricity. So this is one of the things that I'm trying to explore. So wherever you go, you're walking, by the way, can be converted into electrical energy. So using certain type of nanomaterials that have certain also properties that we call it piezoelectric material. So this is actually what I'm really interested in. And I do believe that nanotechnology will make a big difference, not only in the renewable energy field, but in all the fields. And right now we're talking about the quantum era. Quantum is all based on nanotechnology. It's the quantum confinement based on quantum dots. And this is something that is already right now in process and available, not maybe to everyone, but it's going to be very soon available to everybody.
We are looking forward to that age and era where it's going to be available because everyone needs, and it should be accessible as well. So is there a sustainability point of view when you are going ahead and researching nanotech, if you can?
That's true. Whatever we do, actually, we have always to think about, this is right now, it's becoming a requirement in research. Whatever we do, we need always to think about its commercialization, its industrialization, and also its effect on the climate and the durability. There are lots of research, for example, that has been already commercialized, but unfortunately, their lifetime is short because of the use of certain material that have a short lifetime. Like, for example, if we're using organic material in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia with a high temperature, with a humidity, these materials cannot last forever. But if we're using a different type of material, and this is what I'm working on, solid state material, no organic material, and we're working on its properties so that it can last for a longer period of time and they can also survive under this environment of dust, of high temperature, of humidity, and many others. So, yes, we had to take this into consideration. Plus, also the toxicity. Because nanotechnology, it's something that we cannot see, we cannot, touch. It means that it's surrounding us. So the quantity, the material that we are using, is it toxic to human beings or not? Or even if it's toxic, at what level it becomes toxic, at which quantity it becomes toxic. So we have to take all of this into consideration. And by the way, I published recently a paper about how nanotechnology is serving the 17 SDGs, even the social ones, because there is always an impact. We have nanomaterials are right now affecting the agriculture, the water treatment, for sure, renewable energy, the electronic system, the robotics, the transportation. By the way, right now you can find nanomaterials in the bumpers of the cars. You find it in the paint of the car, and the protective layer that they put it on the cars. Also in the airplanes right now, we're using graphene. In the trains, it's right now also under use. We have it also in the field of construction. We're putting nanomaterials in the cement, so to reduce the quantity of the cement material and improve its rigidity and durability. The aging of concrete right now, also it's something that everybody's talking about, that based also on the environment, that the concrete of the building sometimes starts to crack. So this cracking may affect also the durability of these buildings. We find it in the sports. We find it in the clothes right now. We find it in the food. So in the medical applications, it has actually a lot. And water also desalination. So wherever you go, by the way, even in military right now, they're using nanotechnology. So it won't harm people. It just can make, an effect, but without harming human beings. So nanotechnology is right now part of our daily life. We just need to explore what also other properties it can provide us with.
We are looking forward to that. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Basma, and inspiring me, and I'm sure the women who will be listening to you and the leaders who will be listening to you. Your work is inspiring, and what you are as a person, as a human being, what you have gone through and what you have achieved is amazing. Okay, so thank you for sharing your insights and explaining it simplistically.
Actually, it's really interesting. I really enjoyed it, and I believe that we need a lot of these, short talks that reflect or send a message and open the eyes of the, the audience on new discoveries that people should know about and should also explore, because currently everything is right now surrounding us, but it's not, we don't understand what's happening. We need to simplify things, as you said, to the society to understand what's happening within the walls of the labs. So thank you
Absolutely.
so much. It's really an honor to be with you, and I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you very much.